Thank you. We ask that you remain standing and face the flag in the northeast corner of the field as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by the Zeitzman Elementary. Elementary.
You tell the fourth when we start. You have to tell the fourth when we start.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's coin toss is being presented by Heineken.
Try to keep it behind her. white real quick. Stay there for a sec.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Fuck, dudes. Let me know whenever 3 is no longer live, because I am handheld. But 3 is still live on the stream, correct? Fuck.
Wait. Okay, you're good to go.
That ball's bouncing around the penalty area. Never good for defenders.
Mensah lost it to Tony Walls, and now St. Louis plays it forward. Volesky works against the defender. He's tackled from behind. We'll get a restart right at midfield on the left side.
Number 9, Christian Volesky, has 5 goals so far for St. Louis FC. The most minutes for the club, well over 1,800. He gets involved in everything in and around that penalty area. Like Petosevic, his running mate up top, good with his back to play.
So Ivan Mirkovic will put it in play for St. Louis. We now approach the 16th minute and scoreless. Mirkovic gets it back from Tony Walls, plays it forward to Ryan Howe. Middle of the pitch to Bjerman. One touches it to Stoichkov. Dragan wants to go forward, now moves it back to Mirkovic. All the way back to Tony Walls. Tony with pressure moves it forward. Looking for another long ball intended for Bjerman, but right at the penalty dot is Sean Lewis to come off his line.
The idea, good work by Lewis immediately to come off his line, Jim. The idea was there, but that's a bit too direct from Tony Walls. It's over the top of the defenders, but it's a bit too direct so that the goalkeeper, Sean Lewis, has no difficulty making a play like that.
Now the ball out of bounds and belongs to Harrisburg, as we'll restart it right at midfield on the left side of the pitch.
You saw just a moment ago there, Jim, as Harrisburg was lying a bit deeper, trying to get forward as best they can, but the ball broke loose to Stoichkov, and immediately available was Mirkovic to get the ball out of the backfield.
Handball won by off the hands of Harrisburg, and it'll be a handball on Olabi, and St. Louis gets the restart quickly. Here comes Ryan Howe up the left wing. Looks for Petosevic, stolen away from him by Jake Bond, who's been very active on this near wing.
Good job by Jake Bond, because that first touch by Petosevic has to be clean. When you're coming out of your backfield, the ball's at your feet, you've got to hold it, wait for the runner.
Mendoza plays it on the far side. Olabi with it, plays it into the box, and it's headed out nicely. Standing there was Pleva. So now, Olabi works the left side to Benbow. Back to Olabi. Works the right wing now. Bond runs onto it. Works against Ryan Howe. One steps him. Gets into the box. Plays it to Mendoza into the box. A turnaround shot blocked by St. Louis as the ball was right on the foot of Ribeiro. And St. Louis clears it out. Petosevic in a foot race can't beat the defender. And Lewis has to come out and play it as the goalkeeper moves it forward.
Excellent work by Sean Lewis, the goalkeeper, again at the tip of his own penalty area. Saw that play developing. It's one-on-one with him and Petosevic. You've got to come out of your goal mouth. Very nicely done. He did it early, too.
Now St. Louis controls the ball in the right wing at midfield. Sharpie. And again, Volesky gets it, and he's pushed from behind. He goes down. A foul from behind. Restart for St. Louis. It's a couple times we've seen Volesky fouled from behind. Not the same player, but this one was on Brent.
Yeah, and you realize as a number 9 with your back to play, you're going to take some punishment like that. But in the open field, just like that, you're not as much accustomed to it as you are when it's right by the penalty area. But at least he's making himself available for his midfielders to find him.
So St. Louis gets the possession. They will work it back to midfield here as we approach the 20th minute. We are still scoreless. Ryan Howe tried to get the ball to Volesky, but it's knocked away. St. Louis gets a throw in right in front of the bench.
As of right now, Jim, no matter where it comes from, Sharpie at right back, Ryan Howe at left back. He's directly the head coach for St. Louis FC, MLS all-time best 11. Numerous caps for the United States, and in particular, in that 1998 World Cup, when he played against his native country, Yugoslavia.
Petosevic to Volesky, chips it into the box, intended it for Mirkovic, but it's cleared away by Harrisburg.
He told me prior to the United States-Yugoslavia game at the 98 World Cup in France, in the pregame warm-up, we saw a bunch of his friends from Yugoslavia behind the goal, and they all said to him, "Don't you do it. Don't you do it."
Now Dalgard for St. Louis. Tried to get it to Volesky. We got a whistle. What do we have here? We got a foul, and it's going to be a restart for St. Louis.
And that's good work by number 7, Sebastian Dalgard. Comes in off the flank, tries to play the ball on the ground, which he does, finds a striker's feet, try to work a 1-2, or lay it off to him to have a goal first time. He wins the former in a dead ball scenario just outside the penalty area. St. Louis FC. Ryan Howe scored from almost this same distance against Toronto not long ago. There's the particular play right there. Valesky looking for the ball on the ground at his feet as Delegard cuts in on a diagonal into the central part of the field.
So Ryan Howe with a chance for the restart. Everyone lines up at the top of the 18. St. Louis right to left here, 21st minute. Howe strikes it, hangs in the air, and it's headed away by Harrisburg.
Yeah, that goal I scored, Jim, Ryan Howe, that was in a 2-1 loss to Rochester, which began the most recent road trip for St. Louis FC.
A 3-game trip, which they lost 2-1 to Rochester and 2 draws, 1 to Toronto and the other at Ottawa.
1-1 against Toronto, Jim, the 30th of August. They begin their month of September with a tie against Ottawa at Ottawa, which brings them to tonight's game against Harrisburg. And like Harrisburg, after tonight's contest, they both have 5 games remaining.
Ryan Howe throws it in, corner of the 6-yard box is headed away by Harrisburg. Now Benbow tries to play it forward, and it's cleared back in by St. Louis into the box. It's in the air. Tony Walsh just misses heading it away, but the keeper, Sean Lewis, corrals it.
Making the goalkeeper play was Tony Walsh. If the ball's in the air, it bounces in the penalty area. Always make the defenders and or the goalkeeper play.
Stoikov for St. Louis at midfield, controls the possession, steps on it and pulls it back to Conrad Pleva as we play now in the 22nd minute.
So vital in that midfield area, Brecky told me. Have to be able to win the midfield battles.
Another long ball intended for Valesky, but Harrisburg controls the possession. And McLaws, right side to Bond. Jake works against Ryan Howe, and now they play it forward. Mensa will try and beat Pleva, but Pleva knocks it out of bounds. We'll get a throw in for Harrisburg. The City Islanders with it now on the right side.
Yeah, well, Papa Mendez, ball sent into the penalty area. There's Tony Walls, almost gets on the end of it, but again, good alert goalkeeping by Sean Lewis and good sure hands from the goalkeeper.
Now St. Louis takes the possession away from Harrisburg. They chip the ball forward. Can Petosevic outrun Jason Brent? I don't think so. That one's quite a ways away, and Brent will bring it back on the left wing.
That's 1 against 3 on a long flighted ball like that, but in particular come out of your own backfield. Brecky does not like balls like that. You have to be a chaser of lost causes to get on the end of that, but that gets hold real fast.
Ribeiro, middle of the pitch. Now Mensa works against 2 defenders, chips it right side for Mendoza. Back out to Vaughn. Benbow. Ribeiro from distance, a low line drive blocked right at the top of the 18 by Tony Walls. The ball is battled for, and we get a whistle. Restart as Merkovich was fouled from behind.
Merkovich again getting his body between the ball and that defender. Pedro Ribeiro does not agree with that particular call, but Merkovich used his body, protected it, won the foul in the process coming out of his own backfield.
So the restart belongs to Adam Grinwis as we look at the last play.
Merkovich again using his body, getting it between that last defender, Ribeiro, and the ball. Won the foul in the process just outside of his own penalty area.
Long ball too far, and it goes back to the goalkeeper Lewis, who plays it forward as it high, hangs in the air. Ryan Howe comes down against Benbow with it, gives it to Merkovich, back to Conrad Pleva. St. Louis looks for their first goal of the match. We're scoreless. Bring it all the way into the back, and they'll rebuild now with Pleva to Tony Walls.
The game we did, Jim, on Wednesday night, August 23rd. With 4,152 people here against Tulsa. The league that night surpassed the 1.5 million mark for 2017, way ahead of the 2016 pace.
It's amazing how this league just continues to grow and grow. And talked with Bill Betcher in our pregame show about it. You know, since he's been in the league, it just leaps and bounds since he's come into the league.
Another thing came out this week, Jim, that 16 cities with independent clubs have been ranked in the top 40 nationally as some of the best to watch soccer.
Now a shot by Valesky from just beyond the 18 is blocked.
Cincinnati, number 18 in that particular list, averaging more than 20,000. And Sacramento, they're way up there, as they always are, number 21, 2014 champs. They're in the playoffs on a regular basis. Captain Leon Shining, we talked about him early in our broadcast. Scored a goal last week for Harrisburg City, breaking a 616-minute goal.
Ball played into the box off the corner, and Bierman heads it just over the goal. We'll get a goal kick.
One of the last things St. Louis FC works on at training, the day prior to a game, things exactly like that. Dead ball situations, corner kick situations. Matt Bierman, his head upward, he realized he could have done better with that, but he came on the end of it, came in from the right flank, made that diagonal run towards the penalty area, almost got on the end of that corner kick.
Ball played forward by Harrisburg. We'll get a whistle and a foul. Tony Walls from behind fouls Ribeiro. And Harrisburg gets the restart just across midfield as we play now in the 26th minute. We're scoreless.
Yeah, excellent view of that corner kick. Here's the end result. Watch Mats Bierman from a deep lying position. Couldn't quite get his forehead on it. Good defending by Harrisburg City inside their own penalty area. Mats Bierman in that first 11 again tonight on the right flank, continuing to create chances for St. Louis FC.
Ball played at the top of the 18 by Harrisburg, knocked away by St. Louis. Petosevic to Molesky. Right near the St. Louis bench, he plays it back to Ryan Howe as St. Louis going right to left here. Possession intercepted by Bond, and Nishanian has it in the back for Harrisburg. Wants to play a long ball, too far for Benbow, and it goes right to Grinwitz in goal.
Too far, too direct from a deep lying position. The idea is there, but it's too direct.
Now St. Louis brings it forward, but Pleva, again, a low ball this time moves forward, goes to Petosevic. He lost it. Possession battled for and controlled by St. Louis.
And good defending by Harrisburg. Nice ball out of the backfield, but Harrisburg not allowing Petosevic to turn.
Now, St. Louis with Bierman and Sharpie back to Walls at midfield. St. Louis controls the possession with Ryan Howe on the left wing. Works against Benbow, out of bounds, got pushed twice by Benbow. Now he pushes back. Our official trying to get the spot on the throw-in. He wants Ryan Howe to move back 3 steps. Okay, because he's right in front of the bench.
Here's Ryan Howe battling with number 19, Cardell Benbow. 1 foul, 2 fouls. I'd give him a yellow card for stupidity. There's no necessity for that.
That was, yeah, a good way of putting it. Now we're back to action, and Lewis will put it in play from his goalkeeper position with the right foot, and he just kicks it out of bounds, and St. Louis will get another throw-in, basically from the same exact spot as we move into the 29th minute.
And a rare giveaway from Sean Lewis as the goalkeeper coming out of his own penalty area.
Mensa lays it back to Olabii. Left side, there's Benbow. He's in a lot of, actually, Olabii gets it back, and he controls and pulls it back to Nishanian. Lee, right side, works to McLaws.
Nice work there by Harrisburg to keep it, knock the ball around a bit. Make St. Louis FC, even though it's a home game, make them chase it for a while.
Now the ball played forward, headed away by St. Louis. Midfield, possession control, Tony Walls to Bierman. With a little space, works to the right side to Valesky, works to the right corner flag, stops, goes back to Bierman, lays it back Wes Sharpie. Gets pressured, plays it to Valesky, but it's knocked away by Harrisburg as they had it momentarily. Ribeiro, Mendoza, forward, long ball, and St. Louis will play it back to the keeper, Adam Grinwitz.
Good play by Pleva. Must with that ball, don't fool with it, play the way you're facing, get it to the goalkeeper, get out of your backfield.
Ball belongs to Adam Grinwitz. And he plays it forward for St. Louis, chested down by Bierman to Stoikov at midfield. Left side to Sebastian Dalgard. Dalgard plays a through ball between 2 defenders for Ryan Howe. It's too far, and it goes right to the keeper, Lewis. And he'll restart.
Plays on nonetheless because Ryan Howe is already in an advanced position. That's what Brecky wants his wide backs to be. So it's easier to join when you're already beyond the midfielder, causing that overlap.
Pressure put on by St. Louis, trying to come up with a turnover, but Harrisburg works it nicely to Mensa at midfield to Ribeiro, as we got a slide tackle by Pleva as he took it away from Ribeiro. Stoikov for St. Louis, stops, pulls it back St. Louis restarts. Pleva right side.
Good work by Pleva with the sliding tackle, not following in the process, then finding Stoikov, who dug it out of the midfield area.
Ball in the far corner will go out of bounds, and St. Louis will get the corner kick from the right corner flag here in the 31st minute. Jim Hewer, Bill McDermott with you from Worldwide Technology Soccer Park, Harrisburg, and St. Louis, looking for the first goal of the match.
A very tight Eastern Conference race, Jim. Louisville City, they need 7 points to clinch a spot. The Charlotte-Charleston game, originally scheduled for tonight, has been rescheduled for the 20th of September due to the horrible weather created by Hurricane Irma. Tampa Bay Rowdies, their game with Bethlehem has been moved to the 27th of September for the same scenario.
Ball in the box off the corner, cleared away. It was dangerous because it bounced there a couple times. Now St. Louis with Merkovich. And Sharpie with it. Plays it forward. Looks for Petosevic. Dalgard to Milan. Lost the ball, and here comes Harrisburg. With some space, they move the ball forward to Mensa. Has it there on the right side. Looks for Carlton Benbow. Middle of the pitch. It's Olabi'i.
Yeah, Ropapa Mensa just lies deep enough so he can get a ball from midfield and then run at defenders.
Benbow to Olabi'i. Ribeiro at the middle of the pitch, loses it. Stoikov steps in front of it, but now Ribeiro chips it to Mendoza, plays it through the defender, or through the defense. Ball into the box, and there, coming from the backside, is Bond, and he scores. 32nd minute, and Harrisburg scores the first goal of the match.
Jake Bond scores against his former team. Bill Betcher told me in his first start in an Open Cup game, he got 2. So Jake Bond comes back to St. Louis, records the first of the game for the visiting Harrisburg City Islanders. But wonderful work by Harrisburg City, playing the ball on the ground, finding people early, getting it in behind that right back. The left cross comes over. Jake Bond runs onto it, makes the score 1-0 in favor of the visitors, the Harrisburg City Islanders. Good work by Harrisburg. On the ground, it's early. Ribeiro with the initial touch. Here comes Yamoa just off the flank, and there's Jake Bond in behind the ball, the dangerous ball on the ground behind the defenders. Makes it easy for Jake Bond to run onto it. Nicely done. Good finishing and good ball movement by Harrisburg.
St. Louis finds himself down a goal in front of the home folks as we now move into the 33rd minute. St. Louis desperately needs the 3 points here tonight to continue a playoff push. Now they're chasing the game.
They do, Jim, because they come in overall in 11th place with 31 points. Harrisburg comes in with 24, but as we talked about, it's so tight in all those positions, 6th through 11th, 36 points to 30. That's 12th place, I should say, with Ottawa, just 6 points separating these teams.
Ball controlled by St. Louis at midfield on the left side. Now they'll try and work it middle of the pitch to Stoikov. Right wing, Sharpie. Back to Pleva to Tony Walls. And St. Louis once again slowly moves it forward. Patient. Right side, Conrad Pleva. Crosses midfield, works to the right side. Leaves it there for Bjerman. Actually, that's Sharpie. He lost it. Possession belonged to Dalgard. Dalgard, middle of the pitch. Works the left side to Ryan Howe. Slide tackle, nicely taken away by McLaws. He plays it forward to Carlton Benbow right at midfield.
Good defending, nice tackling from McLaws. Sliding tackle, doesn't foul.
St. Louis wins the possession back, and here comes Stoikov. 2 touches knocked away from him. Mensa now. He tries to go between 2 defenders, can't do it. Battle for the ball. Here's Mendoza. We got a whistle and a foul as Merkovich was fouled by Mensa.
Papa Mensa back helping out defensively, but we talked about this earlier, Jim. Milkovic and Stoikov anywhere in and around that center circle. They are 2 warriors, and they dig balls out constantly. There's a foul from behind committed by number 25, Papa Mensa, their leading goal scorer. He has 3 goals. The last goal scored by Jake Bond off the assist from number 60, Frederick Yamoa. It was good work on that left flank, Jim. He was played in early. Ribeiro started with knife ball on the ground at midfield, coming out of the deep position, deep lying position. They got balls in early, played it behind the defense across the goal mouth. Consequently, 1-0.
We wait for the player on the pitch to get back up, and that for Harrisburg. We'll get the restart as Bond he's happy because he's here in his hometown and scored against St. Louis, his former team.
The bearded gentleman he was just talking to is Brandon Miller, the guy who normally starts in goal for Harrisburg City. And he's had a fabulous year so far for Harrisburg. It's no wonder he was the USL goalkeeper of the year in 2015 with the Rochester Rhinos. Again, another new player for 2017. That's one of the things that Bill Betcher talked about, Jim. I thought I had plenty of players. I had a roster deep with 25 players. All of a sudden, injuries to everybody. And as I mentioned a moment ago, sometimes started games with 6 defenders.
St. Louis gets the restart. We're back to live action in the 37th minute as they chase the game, but they hold the possession, down 1-0. Middle of the pitch, it's Tony Walls for St. Louis. Left side looking for Ryan Howe, intercepted by Bond. He plays it right back to Tony Walls, spins away from Mensa nicely and gets the ball to Stoikov.
Very nice on the ball from Tony Walls.
Here at the ball is Bierman. Inside the 18, works a right-footed shot, it's just fine. Best chance for St. Louis here in the 37th minute. Goal kick for Harrisburg.
A real modified version of the up, back, through, but Matt Bierman again creating another chance just because of his work rate on that right flank. Long ball flatted deep, nodding it down as Valesky to the right flank, and that second touch is Bierman just over the top of the crossbar at the opposite post juncture. Good running with and without the ball by Matt Bierman, trying to equalize for the home team.
Benbow plays it forward, too far for Mensa, goes all the way to the keeper Grinwis, and St. Louis restarts with Pleva. Mendoza pressures Sharpie on the right wing. Along the sideline, St. Louis plays it forward, and Bierman to Mirkovic. Middle of the pitch, one touch, leaves it for Dalgard, gets it back to Mats Bierman. Left side now, St. Louis moves quickly. Howe had space for a moment. McClaws closes it. St. Louis has to work it back to midfield.
You saw how advanced already Ryan Howe was, and St. Louis FC works on that at training on a daily basis, getting the wide backs out of the backfield on a regular basis so you have another attacker.
38th minute, Harrisburg 1-0 advantage over St. Louis. And St. Louis has the possession again, this time with Tony Walls. Works the right-footed boot, looking for Valesky inside the 18. It bounces twice. Valesky against 2 defenders. Can't win the possession, but it's cleared away by Nishanian. Throw-in for St. Louis.
Again, Valesky, a chaser of every ball into the penalty area. St. Louis FC, because of his work rate, keeps it on the throw.
Now Ryan Howell lets everyone set up inside the box. They'll line up just around the 6-yard box for this throw-in. Hangs it in the air, and it's headed out by Harrisburg. Still in the box. St. Louis, a low shot by Stoikov. Gets through to the fence. Loose. Oh, and a shot blocked by Lewis, as there on the doorstep was Tony Walls.
The ball comes out of the penalty area. Second ball just rolling at the tip of the penalty area arc. Stoikov runs onto it, strikes it first time. It deflects and almost gets in behind the ever-vigilant Sean Lewis. The end result of the play is Stoikov strikes it. It hit a defender, falls to the feet of Tony Walls, but again, there's the goalkeeper, Sean Lewis.
Lewis has been very good. If he doesn't dive, that's a goal for sure. So Johnny on the spot, Sean Lewis tonight.
Stoikov doing that right thing, Jim, on that second ball, shoot it immediately.
Now Harrisburg with the possession. They want to play it long for Mensa. Foot race to the right corner flag. Mensa will win it against Tony Walls. Goes around Tony Walls into the box. Mensa centers, but only St. Louis is there, and they clear it back out. Harrisburg plays it all the way back out off the foot of Bond, so St. Louis gets the throw in here on the near wing as now we approach the 41st minute of the match.
Big Bond with his second goal of the year. Put the visitors on top by a score of 1-0.
Dalgard had it. Now St. Louis receives the ball again, and it's Mirkovic with it from Sharpie. Mirkovic to Bierman, chips it forward. Valesky in a foot race, but it's cleared away. It's high in the air. Battle for the ball, and now Ribeiro clears for Harrisburg. St. Louis gets the possession.
That's the idea by St. Louis FC. If Matt Bierman could just put that on the ground on Valesky's protected side, he can get it behind two defenders that way.
Slide tackle by Bond on the near wing. Ball deflects out of bounds. Throw in for St. Louis again.
And Jake Bond realizes full well, since the opening center off, number 23, Ryan Howe's going to get forward on a regular basis.
Bierman plays it, corner of the right wing, box to Sharpie, a low shot, blocked at the defense by Nishanian. Now Mirkovic, a blast from just beyond the 18, sails high. Goal kick for Harrisburg.
Even Mirkovic with the ball directly outside the penalty area arc, bounces at his feet, decides to hit it first time. Matt Bierman, nice ball on the right flank to get this play started. The end result of the play, coming in off the right flank from the right back, Wes Sharpie bounces outside the penalty area at the tip of the penalty area arc. Mirkovic hits it first time. End result of the play, Mirkovic having a goal from a comfortable area of the field for him. Anytime those balls bounce outside the penalty area on a second ball, Jim, just run onto it, strike it first time.
Back to live action. It's Mendoza at midfield for Harrisburg with the possession to Olabi'i. Now Harrisburg works the far side to Yamoa.
Yamoa, who assisted on Jake Bond's goal, very active up and down that left flank.
Lots of speed. He's got a lot of twists and turns too when he gets the possession. Now it's Bond, right side, takes it to the corner flag, goes out of bounds, but he wins the corner kick for Harrisburg, and they get it right there in the 42nd minute.
And Jim, and Frederick Yamoa, who assisted Jake Bond on their one and only goal so far, just another new player for Harrisburg, 19 years of age. He's from Ghana. Quite a few of the players in the first 11 in the overall selection from Ghana.
So now Harrisburg from the right corner flag, put the corner in play, low line drive, headed in the air, and it will go out of bounds, and St. Louis will be awarded the goal kick here in the 43rd minute.
And the corner kick at the near post there. Trying to flick it on, looking for an on-rushing player. Getting into the 43rd minute.
Here's Adam Grinwis directing traffic. We'll play it forward. Hangs in the air at midfield. Off a head, and St. Louis controls with Valesky to Bierman. Mats Bierman lost it now. And here comes Jake Brent. Left side. Yamoa leaves it. Olabi'i. Again, Yamoa on the far side for Harrisburg as they work the far side of the field. Lots of twists and turns. This is Benbow. He had it, lost it, and St. Louis moves it forward to Kotosevic at midfield. He's double teamed there. Ball is still in play. Harrisburg moves it forward. Mensah pass too far, and it goes back to Grimless.
Nonetheless, good work by Harrisburg to dig that out of absolutely nowhere and still get forward with it.
Ribeiro back to Mensah, spins against two defenders. Lost it to Conrad Pleva, and St. Louis controls at midfield. Here's Mirkovic to Dalgard with some space. We will watch him run into that space. Right side, Dalgard had it, lost it. Now there is Yamoa on the far wing for Harrisburg.
St. Louis was off to the races there, Jim. Good, quick, early balls on the ground. They got out of their backfield quickly.
So now St. Louis will watch as Harrisburg will throw it in play on the far wing as we now approach the 45th minute of the match. And Harrisburg, with a 1-0 advantage on a goal by Jake Bond in the 32nd minute, is the difference thus far.
Travis Brent, a fixture in Harrisburg's first 11 at center back position. Yet another new player for 2017 for Bill Betcher.
Ball goes forward to Lewis. He holds the ball inside the 18. Content just to let some time run off this clock and get to halftime with a 1-0 advantage.
Precisely. That's exactly what they want to do right now.
Walls heads it forward for St. Louis. Ball will bounce and go out of bounds right in front of head coach Preki on the near side. And Ryan Howe with a quick throw in. It's short. intercepted by Harrisburg. They move it back, and now Dalgard to Markovic for St. Louis.
The fourth official.
Stoichkov
3 minutes of added time.
had the ball move forward, but it's too far for Vitosevic. And we'll get a throw in on the near wing with 3 minutes of added time here in the first half. Throw in belongs to Bond for Harrisburg. Back to McClaws. Long ball to the left side to Yomoa. Right at midfield, Yomoa leaves it for Carlton Benbow to Olabi'i. Lots of space for Olabi'i. He just wants to plays it back to McClaws.
Just close out the first half with that 1-0 lead.
They play the ball to Lewis. He's got to volley it, and he just clears it out of bounds, so St. Louis wins a throw-in.
That's a hard ball for anybody to strike. Ball bouncing right at your chest. Here, handle this and clear it.
Here's Mirkovic. Back to Dragan Stoichkov, right side. Ball over the head of the defender. There's Sharpie, takes it to the corner, tries to center it, knocked down. Brent lost it. Oh, St. Louis intercepts, chips it towards goal. There's Dalgard with a header, and it goes high over goal. Off the turnover, but a goal kick nonetheless for Harrisburg.
Matt Spearman again doing the work on the right flank, trying to find Sebastian Dalgard. Here's Bierman, clips this over the top of the defenders, the back four. Jake Bond in that aerial challenge with number 7, Sebastian Dalgard. On the theme of new players, Dalgard a new player for St. Louis FC, having spent the last 2 years with the OKC Energy.
So they tend to Dalgard. We'll see what.
I think he hit heads with Jake Bond on the cross ball from Mats Bierman. Brian Bounds, the athletic trainer, immediately attends to number 7, Dalgard.
Don't forget, coming up, the Hollywood Casino halftime report as we approach that here tonight from Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Dalgard being tended to. Don't see blood. That's a good thing. We've seen quite a few guys take cuts across the eyebrow.
Quite a few collisions. We get later in the stages of this 2017 season. Both these teams with 5 games remaining. As Brecky said, you never know what's going to happen, Jim. Orlando City B had a 12-game undefeated streak. They were defeated by Richmond 2-0 on Thursday. By the way, Richmond's in 13th place. Orlando City's in 6th place. That gives you an idea how tight the Eastern Conference is.
Mendoza plays it towards goal. A low shot goes wide off the volley. That was off the foot of Olabi'i, and St. Louis will get a goal kick.
Just outside the penalty area. This is a kind of a ball that any player in the world, his mouth is watering. He's going to run onto it and hit it first time. Olabi'i just wide of that opposite post.
Gridwest plays it forward, but Harrisburg controls the possession. They work the left side. Benbow, left wing to Yamoa. Man, he has some pace on the far wing. Throws it towards goal and hangs in the air. Mendoza on the backside knocks it away, and he wins the corner for Harrisburg. So one more chance maybe before half here.
You mentioned that Frederick Yamoa with a ton of pace. He should be, Jim. He's just 19 years of age. He's got some international experience. Played with Ghana's under 20s, and he is very active getting up and down that left flank.
So the right corner flag is where Harrisburg will put it in play. This will probably be the final strike of the first half.
Not while it's in midair, but very soon thereafter.
They play it short. Now Brent plays it towards goal. It's right at Grinwis at the 6-yard box as he takes it away from Nishanian. Ball played forward for Valesky. It's too far for him. Harrisburg has it. As we approach halftime, there's the whistle. We have reached the midway point here at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. And Harrisburg, on a goal by Jake Bond, controls a 1-0 advantage here, Bill.
So what Harrisburg had to do as the visitors and getting off the snide coming in, losing 5 games in a row, try to control the play as much as possible, get balls out to the wide position. And as Jake Bond told me prior to the game, walking out of the locker room, I'm just going to run up and down the right flank, try to make things happen. Well, he's done just that.
Bill Betcher's team will go into the break in his hometown with a 1-0 advantage here at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Meanwhile, on the St. Louis side, Frecky's group has got to regroup and find a way to get a goal and get something and make something happen here.
Precisely right, John. I'd like to see them play more on the ground in and around the penalty area as opposed to the long balls coming out of the backfield. That is okay occasionally, trying to send a ball over the last line of defense, but you cannot live on a steady diet of that. Not in this league, not anywhere in the world.
The crowd kind of in a daze right now here at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park as they've seen their club go down early despite St. Louis having a lot of possession time, and I know we'll go through some of those stats coming up here at the halftime break with St. Louis trailing Harrisburg by a score of 1-0 as we get ready for our Hollywood Casino halftime festivities here from Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. We'll take a break. When we come back, more of those festivities. 1-0 Harrisburg with the lead.
Toyota RAV4 comes with lane departure alert, pre-collision system, dynamic radar cruise control, and automatic high beams, all standard at no extra charge. To get similar safety features in a Honda CR-V, you'd have to pay $2,330 more. The 2017 Toyota RAV4. When it comes to safety, Toyota sets the standard. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
You guys are ready! Oh, you guys are ready!
Ticket, please.
Of course, I got it right here.
There's nothing there.
It's loading. It takes a little bit. Just give me like a minute, guys.
Here's the ticket. It started. Mine works.
Bob realized his network coverage was a no-show. That's why he switched to metroPCS, because he figured out he gets a network that's more reliable than ever, covering 99% of people in the U.S. Switch now and get 2 lines for only $50 period, plus 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones. metroPCS. Wireless figured out.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees.
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino, St. Louis.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Welcome back to Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Harrisburg with the lead, 1-0 over St. Louis here at the break. It's the Hollywood Casino halftime report. Jim Hewer, Bill McDermott with you as St. Louis with that trail. They trail Harrisburg. Lots coming up here in the halftime report. The crowd, again, they're having a good time, but they're not happy with what they've seen thus far, with St. Louis trailing 1-0, Bill.
No, they realize full well, as the players do, everybody at the venue, there are 6 games remaining. You're currently just out of the playoff race with 31 points. And another game tonight, Rochester and Ottawa ties. They go to 31 points, Ottawa does, so they're now tied with St. Louis. And Rochester gets 42 points, so they break that deadlock with Tampa Bay and Rochester and Tampa Bay and Orlando City just right behind them. The Charleston Battery likewise with 41 points of their own. So everything continues to get much tighter as all teams in this latter part of the season have 4, 5, 6 games remaining, Jim.
So those of you on our stream will now get the opportunity to have our Hollywood Casino halftime report feature with Ryan Howe.
Hi, I'm Ashley Anton here with Ryan Howe, one of your favorite STL FC players. Ryan, are you ready for some questions?
I'm ready.
Okay, tell me, if you could pick one vacation spot that you've been to or you've always wanted to go, where would it be?
I would say my bucket vacation would be somewhere in Italy because I'm Italian and haven't been there yet. So that's probably my bucket vacation list.
And what would you do there? Make a little pasta, a little pizza?
Definitely visit some of the pizza places and pasta places and then just, travel around a little bit.
Good. What is your biggest pet peeve? Tell our viewers what really just irks you.
So my biggest pet peeve when I'm driving is when someone's in the very left lane on the highway. And they're
The fast lane.
The fast lane. And they're just oblivious to everyone else, not really going too fast. So that might be my biggest pet peeve.
Okay, are you ever in that fast lane driving fast or no?
Not too often. Not too often. I like to obey the speed limit.
A safe driver. I'm actually in the left lane, so you probably won't want to drive with me. Okay, tell me, in 10 years, where do you see yourself? What are you doing? Where are you living? Where are you?
That's a good question. I've kind of thought about that a little bit, and I don't know, maybe I'm still playing soccer. Maybe I've moved on, into a different career, maybe in accounting or somewhere else. So I just kind of see how it goes and where it takes me.
Tell me, being on the soccer team, where are you from, and what has it been like being here in St. Louis for you?
So I'm from Rockford, Illinois, and then went to school in Chicago. So I'm from a big city, and so coming to St. Louis is not nearly as big of a city as Chicago, but it's still a nice city, very spread out, so it's a little different, but yeah, I like it a lot.
Good stuff. Where can we find you here in St. Louis? Like if we were out and about, where would you be?
Oh, I hang out at the apartments a lot, so Southfield, Oakville area, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at most of my days.
Okay, relaxing, hanging out, watching some Suits.
Playing cards, playing Monopoly. We're on Monopoly kick right now over there, so that's what we're doing.
What kind of card games?
We play some Uno, and then we play some games that we've made up. It's called 22, and that's about it.
And who's the winner? Usually.
It's usually, pretty even between me, myself, Conrad, Tavo, but for sure, Matt Sheldon is the loser.
Matt Sheldon, you're a loser? Is this true?
It's very true. It's very true.
Okay. Well, maybe next time. Maybe he's just having a bad streak.
He might be in a little bad mojo streak. We don't know though.
Okay. Have you tried to help him at all or no?
No helping. No helping.
We're competitive here.
He's got to figure it out on his own.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for letting our fans get to know more about who you are.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm Ashley Anton.
There's your feature on Ryan Howe here at halftime. St. Louis trails Harrisburg City Islanders by a score of 1-0. Those first half highlights, they're coming up next as we continue from Worldwide Technology Soccer Park, Harrisburg and St. Louis.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
We do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
What's
what's been unusual is that we gelled from the beginning, and since then it's carried on throughout the season. It carried on through preseason, and then now we're continuing. Now we're getting towards the end of the season.
Yeah, when the group got together down in preseason and we were training with the first team, we were kind of just looking around like, yeah, we got a good squad, you know, like when we get back and it's just the Monarchs, we have a team that could do something really special. And so having that time together in preseason and pushing ourselves against RSL and against the first team guys was a great experience and opportunity, and kind of gave us some bonding heading into our season, and we knew we had a special group.
You can't just look at it as a slice, right? Because the investment is the club as a whole in building integration at every level. If you're going to think that way, you have to build the facilities, you have to invest in the team, you have to do everything that you need to do to make sure that at every level you're driving success, and I think that's what we've done.
I think there's a standard throughout the whole organisation now, from top to bottom. I think with the new facility, that's only going to increase the level, only going to increase the standard and the quality of everything within the club.
Purpose-built for USL. It'll be a fun game experience. It'll be a nice place for them to have a home field, and it'll be right at the training facility, which will be great.
This is the next step, obviously, with the academy being there. The Monarchs will be there. The first team will be training there.
But this is unlike anything else in the USL, and I think it's going to be a big game changer for us.
And so now to have our own place that's not going to be as big, but it's going to be just as full, it's going to be incredible for the team.
But for the Monarchs, it'll be great because we're getting on average 3,000 fans or so, and I think it'll be even more next year as the Monarchs continue to improve and kind of set the standard in the USL.
The players' goals have evolved as the season has, and their expectations have got greater. And I think they now understand that until we have a USL championship, they haven't aspired or they haven't reached the goal that we ultimately want.
Welcome back to Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Jim Hewer, Bill McDermott with you. We're at halftime, and at the break, Harrisburg, the City Islanders lead St. Louis by a score of 1-0 here, Bill, and we're going to go through some of the first half highlights here this evening, but the home folks are kind of stunned right now.
That's putting it politely, Jim. They really don't know how to take this as Harrisburg comes in and gets on top early by a score of 1-0. Some good work by Harrisburg early getting forward in the person of Jake Bond. They're going to shoot from distance here, but no difficulty for the goalkeeper, Adam Brimwis. Much earlier in the first half, the ball flighted to the opposite post looking for Tony Wall by Ryan Howell. Nice ball flighted to the opposite post. Good work by the goalkeeper, Sean Lewis. Wes Sharpie just bounces this into the penalty area. Again, good sure hands from Lewis. A corner kick, Mats Bierman nearly got on the end of that. Ryan Howell furnished that. Here's the goal. Wonderful work by Ribeiro to get it started. In behind the last line of defense, Frederick Yamoa comes in off that right flank, and Jake Bond, as I said when we exited the first half, said, I'm going to run up and down on the right flank and try to create some havoc. That's exactly what he's done. But Freddie Yamoa on that left flank really got through a ton of work, and this exemplifies just that. In behind Ryan Howell, a ball on the ground that you can simply run onto and redirect, and that's exactly what Jake Bond did. Late in the first half, Mats Bierman tried to make things happen for the home side. Just over the top of the crossbar. Valesky nods it down for Stoikov, deflects. Sean Lewis gets on the end of it. Tony Walls at the near post. Likewise, Lewis stops that at the near post. Still later in the first half, Sharpie across the goal mouth. They can't keep it alive. Bounces to Mirkovic. On his second ball, hits it high, just over the crossbar. Mats Bierman again finds Sebastian Dahlgaard. That was very late in the first half, but good work by the home side to try to get back into this game. But Harrisburg City has done exactly what they have to do as the visitors, coming, Jim, from a slide where they have lost 5 in a row. They certainly aren't depicting that as the visitors tonight.
I can tell you this, the home folks won't give up hope. They've seen this team come back here in St. Louis a number of times. In fact, the last match they won in 90 seconds. We'll take a break. We'll come back for the second half. Harrisburg up 1-0 at the break.
You can't put a price on safety. That's why every 2017 Toyota RAV4 comes with lane departure alert, pre-collision system, dynamic radar cruise control, and automatic high beams, all standard at no extra charge. To get similar safety features in a Honda CR-V, you'd have to pay $2,330 more. The 2017 Toyota RAV4. When it comes to safety, Toyota sets the standard. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
You guys are ready? You guys are ready?
Ticket, please.
Of course, I got it right here.
There's nothing there.
It's loading. It takes a little bit. Just give me like a minute, guys.
Here's my ticket. It's starting. Mine works.
Bob realized his network coverage was a no-show. That's why he switched to metroPCS, because he figured out he gets a network that's more reliable than ever, covering 99% of people in the U.S. Switch now and get 2 lines for only $50 period, plus 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones. metroPCS, wireless figured out.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees.
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino St. Louis.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Second half of action just about ready to get started from Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. The home folks see their team, St. Louis FC, down to the Harrisburg City Islanders by a score of 1-0. Welcome back, Jim Hewer, Bill McDermott with you as we get set for the second half. Harrisburg will continue what they're doing, but St. Louis has got to capitalize, Bill.
And they have to do it or get back into the game as quickly as possible, equalize, make it even. Every coach, every team in the world says, look, it's 1-0. Don't get excited. That's 1 goal. However, this team at home has had occasional struggles protecting their home venue. So a change at the halftime interval. Number 27, Daniel Jackson, enters for St. Louis FC.
So Jackson will bring his pace to the match, and we'll see if he can get St. Louis on the scoreboard here, as St. Louis will now go left to right in this second half. Harrisburg right to left. They got the whites on. Now a steal by Ryan Howell on the far side, but it's cleared away, and St. Louis wins a throw-in on the far side.
Ryan Howell again continuing to do the work. He's up at the other team's corner flag arc as often as he is at his own. Continues to do the work, getting forward in an advanced position. Daniel Jackson comes on for Milan Petosevic, and as you just mentioned, Jim, St. Louis FC is going to try to put him behind the defense because he has blistering. When I first asked Preki about his main attribute, he said crazy pace. And that's what St. Louis FC needs to get balls on the ground, behind the defense, on an angle that Jackson can run onto.
So the ball controlled by Harrisburg at midfield as we got the second half of action, and the City Islanders with that 1-0 advantage work on the far side. A lot of battles for the ball in the far wing, and St. Louis gets a throw-in over there.
Yeah, Jim, we checked some scores at halftime. Louisville defeats Pittsburgh by a score of 3-0. They now have 50 points and need only 4. Louisville needs only 4 now to clinch a playoff spot. Late in the second half, the New York Red Bulls are defeating Toronto by a score of 2-1, and the Red Bulls have really, as of late, been on a tear. A 5-game undefeated streak. When they played at Toronto, likewise, they've had 10 goals in the last 3 games, so they've been red hot as well. And they are the last team. Forget the placement of where teams are this late in the season. Preki just told me yesterday at training, after training, we mentioned it in our telecast, every team in the league has somebody who can destroy you in one moment of brilliance.
Yeah, that's true. They mentioned that Red Bulls team hot. This is about the time last year where they were cruising through the league and went on to the championship last year. It looks like they may be doing the same thing again this season.
And Pittsburgh, you never know. If Pittsburgh loses tonight to Louisville, they had been on a 5-game undefeated streak. By the way, and they'll also end in a game probably concluded by now. Phoenix was on top of Colorado by a score of 1-0 in the Western Conference. They began even on points. Colorado was 7th place, Phoenix 8th place. In the Western Conference, they both had 34 points beginning play tonight.
Now back to live action as Dragan Stoikov is pulled down on the right side, and St. Louis will get a dangerous restart. just beyond the right corner flag. Stoikov moved it forward about 10 yards. I don't think the official's going to go for that. You have to move that back.
Stoikov battling number 19, Cardell Benbow. And those are two warriors in the center circle for St. Louis FC. Stoikov and Mirkovic. Stoikov from Stumica, Macedonia. Mirkovic from Belgrade, Yugoslavia.
St. Louis with a dangerous restart, looking for the equalizer. 49th minute. And striking it will be Ryan Howe.
With his left foot, an in-swinger. This is very dangerous for a team to try to defend from such a close area. Tailor-made for a left-footed ball striker.
There's a whistle, ball in the air towards goal. It goes right at goal, and Lewis is right there to make the save.
Lesky tried to glance in off that left flank, made the diagonal run, just trying to redirect it, Jim. Run onto the ball, run in the middle of the ball. Let the ball hit you.
So Lewis will play it forward.
Howe with that curling ball to the left flank, looking for Valesky. 5 goals to his credit so far, but nicely cut out yet again by the starting goalkeeper, Sean Lewis.
Yamoa plays it to the left corner flag for Harrisburg. It's too far for Mendoza, and St. Louis will be awarded a goal kick here.
Freddie Yamoa, who assisted on Jake Bond's goal. He was so active out on that left flank, getting up and down, running at people, playing balls, working the 1-2s, getting in and out of people, pinching in, then staying wide. He really varied his play in the first half for Harrisburg.
Benbow and Yamoa are similar players, and they have such quickness, and they have such jitterbug capabilities with the possession. You're going, oh, watch out when they get it.
And they're dangerous on the flank, Jim, and they know, defenders know, that they are going to run at you.
Now we get our first card of the match, a yellow card, as Sharpie fouls Yamoa, who we were just speaking of, right there in front of the St. Louis bench.
Yeah, aforementioned Freddie Yamoa is going to be involved in everything. Wes Sharpie on the tackle receives the yellow card.
So that's our first one here in the 51st minute. And St. Louis will watch Harrisburg put the ball in play right in front of their bench, right in front of head coach Preki.
The referee is Rosendo Mendoza. He's in charge tonight.
Looks like Yamoa's going to be okay. He's already jogging. Good to go.
Yeah, very slight in stature is Yamoa. Does not hinder his ability on the ball, however.
Yamoa gets the ball. Left side, works to the left corner flag, works against Stoikov. St. Louis double teams him and clears it out as Sharpie clears it out of bounds.
Here's the play prior on which Sharpie received the yellow card. Yamoa battling. Coming in a little bit too late was number 22, Wes Sharpie. Here's Bierman going forward. This is an ideal, though. You get a first-hand glance at that. And that's a yellow card on number 22, Wes Sharpie, by the referee Mendoza. He had no hesitancy in pulling one out there.
Now St. Louis with the possession at midfield, right side. There with it is Daniel Jackson. Leaves it for Stoikov. He's bothered by Mensah. St. Louis will play it back and restart with Pleva.
Mensah doing his job as the top front runner. Don't let them play out of the backfield so easily. Lose it, chase it.
Mirkovic to Pleva, right side, Sharpie. St. Louis in the 52nd minute here at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park trying to equalize. They desperately need 3 points at home tonight. Meanwhile, there's Benbow. Just zips between two defenders. Leaves it for Mensah. Right corner inside the box. Coming on from behind is Ryan Howe to take it away, but there'll be a corner from the right corner flag for Harrisburg.
Again, good, dangerous attacking from Harrisburg just outside the penalty area because they get it on the ground, Jim, and they run right at the defense. Ryan Howe there at the near post to defend. He was the last defender back. Adam Grimwis getting the start tonight in the first 11.
Now the ball played into the box, headed up in the air and out by St. Louis twice. Now forward by Harrisburg, still inside the 18. It bounces and cleared away nicely by St. Louis as Ryan Howe said, enough of this. We'll just restart the possession. Anytime that ball bounces in your 18, it's dangerous.
If it's bouncing in the penalty area, hit it anywhere. Just get it out of play. Nothing good is going to happen of a ball bouncing in your own penalty area.
Now Harrisburg will throw it in play on the far side as we're now in the 53rd minute. And the ball belongs to Tony Walls as he took it away nicely from Mensah. And St. Louis will try and start something here. And they quickly play a diagonal ball, but it's intercepted by Yamoa. Yamoa on the left side. He wants to go back towards the box, intended for Mensah. Header in the air. Still with it. Mensah heads it forward. And there is Grinwis to get the bouncing ball.
Well, Papa Mensah, he has 3 goals coming into tonight's game. Leads the team in shots as well, simply because he gets into dangerous positions.
Valesky heels it to himself behind the defender Brent. Uses his space, works to the right side. Can't beat 2 defenders as there is Nishanian. Knocks it away, and St. Louis will be awarded a throw in. Or no, I'm sorry. It'll be Harrisburg's possession.
There's Mensah just trying to keep the ball alive in the penalty area. Rising for the aerial challenge was Tony Walls. That prior play, Christian Valesky played it to himself, Jim, out on that right flank. Good effort to get forward, 1-on-2. Harrisburg collapsed defensively very quickly.
Here's Ryan Howe. Actually, that's Sharpie for St. Louis. Throws it in. We're back to live action. Mirkovic. Bierman off the one touch. Fouled from behind, and St. Louis is going to get a dangerous restart just about 25 yards from goal straight away.
Just outside the tip of the penalty area arc. Good work by Bierman again to create a chance, get the ball started early. Mirkovic on the ground. Dalgard with the turn, and then Bierman try to get on the end of Dalgard's little touch pass. Wins a free kick just outside the penalty area arc.
So now St. Louis gets that restart. And this will be another dangerous chance for St. Louis to try to get the equalizer in the 54th minute of this match.
From a very similar position, we mentioned this earlier. On the 26th of August, Ryan Howe had to go from pretty much the same spot. Stoikov at the time set the ball down for him. He struck it, and it was a wonderful goal.
There's a shot by Howe, a save, or actually a block, and then another opportunity for Bierman as it goes wide. St. Louis was dangerous there. Howe blasted it, but Harrisburg had a block on it.
And that shot is to be taken every night of the week, 3 times on Sunday. Don't even think about passing that ball from that position on the field. Howe shoots it, deflects, falls to the feet of Bierman, just hits it wide, wins a corner in the process.
So now a corner for St. Louis, and the official wants to sort things out with the combatants at the 6-yard box.
I wants to talk to the players before the corner kick is struck. Now the key is watch after the ball is struck what happens.
Into the box and right to the keeper. Lewis had it, falls on it, and keeps the possession, and he'll restart the possession for Harrisburg.
Good sure hands again by Sean Lewis, getting the start in the first 11 tonight in the absence of the normal goalkeeper, former USL goalkeeper of the year, Brandon Miller.
Now St. Louis in a battle with the possession on the far side. We'll get a whistle and a foul on Harrisburg. And St. Louis moves it quickly with Mirkovic. Sidesteps Ribeiro, crosses midfield. Now he's pushed from behind, the ball out of bounds. Last touch by Harrisburg. Or we're going to get a foul on Harrisburg from behind instead.
Against Mirkovic. Mirkovic dribbling with the ball in the left side of the midfield. Ribeiro fouls there senselessly. No need to foul there. Mirkovic had nowhere to go with that ball.
Leva plays it forward. It's high in the air. Valesky brings it down. Back towards goal. Looks for help. Leaves it for Stoikov. Right wing to Wes Sharpie. Heads it towards the box. Knocked down by Brent, and he clears it away nicely for Harrisburg.
Good clearance by Brent. Initially chests it down, clears it. That's the play from the center back.
Now St. Louis with Bierman. Heads it towards Jackson. He doesn't get to him, and there with it is Nishanian. Clears it away. Mendoza left side to Yamoa. Up the left wing. Headed down by St. Louis, and they can't save it, so a throw in for Harrisburg.
Daniel Jackson, that second half change, hasn't really been able to place his mark on the game yet. Hasn't really got a ball at his feet yet, so he can run at defenders.
Here's Yamoa. Leaves it there for Mensah. Works against Daniel Jackson.
Two forwards working against each other, Jim.
Yep. St. Louis double teams. The ball is in the middle of the pitch, and we got guys falling left and right, and we'll have a foul and a restart. It will belong to Harrisburg, so they'll get an opportunity here.
Yeah, that'll be a yellow against Conrad Pleva.
As Benbow goes down.
Tackle in the open field against number 19, Cardale Benbow. Number 5, Conrad Pleva. You can see Mendoza, the referee, has a yellow card out already.
So in the 59th minute, Harrisburg will get an opportunity to send it into the box and look for a second tonight as they have a 1-0 advantage here in the 59th minute. Just got a Mirkovic in the conversation there as they're waiting to place the ball. The official's not there. Ivan having a discussion with Mensa.
Mirkovic with the initial slide, as he is wont to do, because he continues to battle, won't let any play die. Will the team captain, Ivan Mirkovic. That was a bit too late from Pleva. You saw the referee going to his right pocket immediately for the yellow. Dangerous free kick scenario for the visitors here.
So as we approach now the 61st minute of this match.
Now another yellow displayed to Ivan Mirkovic.
So Ivan will pick up a yellow, and that's not good for St. Louis fans because he had 4 yellows coming into the match, so he's unavailable for next Saturday. One of the key cogs in Precky's team, right in the middle, will not be available next Saturday.
Well, he missed so many games, Jim. Bill Betcher and Precky talked about this. Both teams injury-riddled at the outset of the 2017 season. This is Mirkovic, just his 14th game played.
Now that ball was played quickly off the restart and goes out of bounds. Last touch by St. Louis. Not dangerous, but now from the right corner flag, Harrisburg will get a restart with the corner kick.
Yeah, we're watching training yesterday. At the end of training, Precky was...
Ball in the box, and it was almost on goal and cleared away.
Precky was saying to all his defenders, we do not want to give up any more goals on free kicks.
Another shot deflects off a couple of defenders in front. It's wide. Last touch by St. Louis. And Harrisburg, dangerous here, gets another chance.
When everybody's back into the penalty area, a second ball comes out, just have a go. That's exactly what Jake Bond did here. Brought it down, shot it, deflected, almost got inside that near post beyond Adam Grimwitz.
Another opportunity now from the right corner flag for Harrisburg, as Dragan Stoikov is going to come out, and here comes Seth Rudolph, the instant offense for St. Louis recently.
Seth Rudolph, instant offense, the secret weapon. 6 goals. 6 goals. He leads the team, and he told me that game against Ottawa, which was up for goal of the week, Jim, he had no hesitancy. It was the only thing he was going to do.
Benbow, a turn and a shot at the top of the 18. There's Ribeiro, chips it towards goal. Off the head of Mensa. Still alive for Harrisburg in the corner. They send it into the 6-yard box, and Grinwis has the sky inside his 6 to pull it down.
Well, you're looking for your goalkeeper to make a play there. That's exactly what Grinwis did. The ball's bouncing around the penalty area, being chipped in from the left flank to the right side. Grinwis cuts it out, ends it all.
Now here comes St. Louis with Tony Walls up the left wing, approaches midfield.
You know, Seth Rudolph got a goal from every bit of 35, almost 40 yards out against Ottawa, Jim, and he said that was my lone and sole intention. The ball bounced at my feet. I was going to shoot it from wherever I was. He got every panel of it, hit it with his full instep. It was a candidate for goal of the week.
He told us on our KTRS FC Soccer Weekly show he only scores big goals. Well, it's time for a big one.
This Mastio is overwhelming.
Yeah. I joked with him because I said, you know, you've scored a lot of goals late. And he said, well, I just save them for when they matter most.
Yeah, so. The goal of the week came from that same game. Number 2, Jonathan Barton with that solo run through a maze coming up from the right flank. Scored against St. Louis in their game during the week last week against Ottawa.
So now in the right corner, Harrisburg will get a throw in right in front of the Luligans over there. They're letting Jake Bond, the former guy they were cheering for, let us know, hey, we don't like you now.
You used to play for us.
That's right. Here's Wes Sharpie, right corner of the 18, lost it, and Ribeiro plays a long ball intended for Mensa. Mensa will race against Walls and win it on the right side. Takes it towards the 18, works against Tony Walls, but Tony Walls nicely strips him of it. And Tony works against Mensa, gets pushed, and will probably get a foul on Mensa there.
That will drive a coach crazy. Mensa does the chasing, makes Walls play, does a great job of tackling, does Walls, but Mensa still has Walls at his own corner flag arc. Who knows what can happen there? Don't foul.
Dalgard had it at midfield momentarily, and now here comes Harrisburg for a moment. The ball back at midfield. St. Louis will pull it forward as we play back and forth with the possession. And Valesky to Bjurman. Right side, some space here for Sharpie as he works against Yamoa. Now to Seth Rudolph. Rudolph tries to send it towards goal. It's deflected off of Brent, and St. Louis wins the corner and the right corner flag.
Again, Jim, job description for a flank player. Can't get it over, can't get a shot, win a corner.
So Ryan Howe will approach the right corner flag and try to put the ball in play here now as we're in the 64th minute. And St. Louis looking for the equalizer in front of the home folks. 4,133 the attendance tonight at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. The ball hangs in the air. It's short. It's there, and just missing it is Valesky as it deflected off Harrisburg. And we'll get another opportunity for St. Louis, this time from the left side.
The ball flicked by a defender at the near post, goes across the entire goal mouth. Seemingly from our position, Jim, it looked like Valesky could run onto it and just let that hit him.
So Ryan Howe, again, this time from the left side in front of the Luligans. We'll wait the official. There's the strike. It's high in the air at the 6-yard box. And Rudolph comes off with a header, and it's blocked at the goal line by Mendoza. Oh, dangerous for St. Louis, but Harrisburg on the back line comes away with the save.
And that's why you have somebody at the opposite post, the near post, on the corner kick. Seth Rudolph somehow, some way gets on the end of that. Harrisburg clears off their own goal line.
Now, Bjurman for St. Louis, right side back to Rudolph. Right corner flag sends it towards the box, and it's knocked down and cleared away by Olabi'i. But right in the middle of the pitch, Mirkovic for St. Louis controls it. St. Louis needs a goal here.
Rudolph
sends it out of play.
Rudolph comes on, Jim, and as he has wont to do, immediately changes the game. Flicked to the opposite post inadvertently by a defender, knocked the goalkeeper away from the play. The goal off its moorings. There's Rudolph heading at the opposite post. Beautifully saved off his own goal line. Very nicely done by Jonathan Mendoza, who appeared from nowhere.
So a restart for Harrisburg. Again, right to left for the City Islanders. They have a 1-0 advantage here in the 66th minute. And now they'll get the possession right in front of the St. Louis bench with a throw-in, as we have another player down back behind the play for Harrisburg, and that is Mensa.
Papa Mensa, been active all night long. Front runner for the Harrisburg City Islanders. Again, another new player in 2017 for Bill Betcher. He likewise, like Yamoa, from Ghana. Same team as number 18, Abbas Mohammed, likewise from Ghana, another first-year player. And Freddie Yamoa, all from Ghana. Who within the last 2 or 3 World Cups have really been making some noise, Jim. And on that World Cup note, there's already some teams that have qualified for the World Cup next year. 9 so far from Asia: Iran, Japan, Korea Republic, Saudi Arabia, Mexico from the CONCACAF region. Only Belgium so far from Europe. And here's a surprise from South America: Brazil qualifies for yet another World Cup.
No doubt. The United States men's national team's got some work ahead of them.
Indeed they do, Jim. They really do. As Tyler Feely's going to come on. They play Panama October 6th. And October 10th, they're in Trinidad to play against Trinidad and Tobago.
Ribeiro works it up the sideline for Harrisburg, and now St. Louis intercepts. And Bjurman, right side to Jackson. Taken away from him, and here comes Yamoa. Mirkovic steps in front of him. But Yamoa continues to work for the possession and creates a turnover, and Olabi'i.
Yamoa's work rate made that happen. St. Louis FC gave it away coming out of their own backfield, which they don't want to do in the later stages of this game.
Mirkovic with an interception. Mirkovic with it, middle of the pitch, right side to Jackson. Jackson with pace, takes it to the right corner. Waits, sends it towards the 18. A volley chance for Dalgard, goes wide of the goal on the left post. And a goal kick for Harrisburg.
Boy, a difficult ball to strike off that first bounce. Looking for a side volley was Dahlgaard. Bierman continuing to make things happen out on his right flank. Coming into the game, we looked at the statistic, Jims. He's created the most chances for St. Louis FC. Daniel Jackson, the second half change, comes on, flights it over across the goal mouth. It bounces one time, and Dahlgaard hit it first time. So coming on for Sebastian Dahlgaard is Tyler Philly. Now, during training this week, he's looked extremely lively. Number 44, Tyler Philly, just announced his signing the 18th of August. He was a free agent, Jim. He's a dual national. Played in the Real Salt Lake, Arizona youth system. Dual national, played on the under-17 and under-18 level for Serbia, and he will shoot it from anywhere. Had some experience 2015-16 season with the OC Blues, so he's brought on for one explicit reason. Like Rudolph, change the game.
So St. Louis gets a restart, and they quickly put it in play. Sharpie on the right side as we're back to live action. Rudolph works against Yamoa. Seth takes it to the middle of the pitch, loses it as there's four defenders there, and now a nice low ball on the ground to Mensa, just too far though, and Walls plays it back forward for St. Louis, and we'll get a whistle, and Brent from behind, now the ball played into the box, there's a shot, and a goal by Valesky on the quick restart. You blinked and you missed it.
Jim, you brought it up and explained it perfectly. The early, the quick restart, pure and simple. Valesky gets his 6th of the year, tying Rudolph in that particular department, made possible by the team captain, Ivan Mirkovic. So Valesky capitalizes, puts it in behind the goalkeeper, Sean Lewis, because of the early, quick free kick.
So in the 70th minute, St. Louis brings the crowd alive and levels the match at 1. As St. Louis picked up the foul and a quick restart.
The early free kick from Feely. I mentioned he comes on to change the game. We didn't know it was going to be a little push pass on the ground. The early free kick for Valesky. Mirkovic started it. He made things happen. Then the early free kick on the ground from Feely, where anybody can play, in particular Valesky. A la Eusebio in the 66 World Cup, playing for Portugal. Digs the ball out of the net, brings it back to the center circle. Let's go.
Bill Betcher not happy. He let the official know he didn't like the quick restart, but because of that, we're level at 1. Back to action. Right side. Harrisburg as the Luligans have got the green smoke going. Ball played into the box, and it goes right to the St. Louis keeper, Grinwis, and St. Louis will restart it in the 71st minute.
That was the definition of the early quick free kick. As you said, Jim, blink and you missed it.
I'll be honest, I had to take a double take because I was like, did he allow that? And he did, because St. Louis just put it in play. Feely put it down, and boom, there was Valesky. Johnny on the spot as he read it well.
The little ball on the ground. There's going to be a yellow card distributed. This is for answering back to the official, to number 30.
Yep.
Pedro Rivero.
Harrisburg. Their bench not happy. Their 11 out there are not happy with our official tonight, Mendoza, off of that.
And Mendoza just signaled to Mats Bierman, wait, play the whistle. And that's pretty much what the Harrisburg City Islanders are saying from the earlier play. There's Valesky. Look at the odds there, 3 against 1. He, of course, wins the foul. Ribeiro talks back to the official, gets a yellow free kick for St. Louis FC.
So at midfield, we get the restart, level at 1, and Tony Walls for St. Louis with the possession. Works at right side to Conrad Pleva. St. Louis trying to go on top now. Here's Seth Rudolph, right corner flag. Instant offense, Seth goes against 2 defenders and had it stolen away, and Harrisburg clears it out, but Pleva leaves it for Mirkovic. Battles against 2 defenders, heads it down nicely, plays it forward, keeps the possession, middle of the pitch, Bierman. Had it, lost it, keeps it as he falls down, gets back up. Now he's fouled, and we'll get a restart finally against Harrisburg.
First of all, Mirkovic magnificently kept that ball in and around between the center circle and the penalty area arc, which is his office. Kept it superbly. Mats Bierman won't let any play die. He's fouled once, knocked to his feet. He's going to get fouled here again. Referee almost let that play continue to see what was going to happen, but there was no advantage. So Ryan Howe again from a comfortable area on the field for him. He's lining up to possibly have a shot, maybe clip it in, looking for a redirection.
There it is, a line drive is high over goal. Off the restart from 30 yards away. Goal kick for Harrisburg.
But nonetheless, good work there by Mirkovic to keep that play alive, and Mats Bierman creating another chance, winning a foul in a dangerous position on the field. Tremendous work rate by number 11, Bierman, to keep everything alive anywhere close to the penalty area.
Ball is headed forward by Harrisburg, knocked back by St. Louis. Midfield will have a battle for the possession, and Mirkovic pulls it down. Left side, running onto it is Ryan Howe. Stops, works against Mendoza. Still with it is Ryan Howe. Now approaches two other defenders, plays it forward, but it's intercepted by Harrisburg. Olabi'i taken down by Ryan Howe, and a restart for Harrisburg on the right side.
Olabi'i, who likewise with some of the other players in that first, tremendously active. And our continuing theme for Bill Betcher's Harrisburg City team. Another new player. He's from Nigeria. Cardell Benbow comes off for the change. This is Paul Wilson, yet not exactly a new player. His second year for Harrisburg City. He's a Jamaican player. Paul Wilson comes on. He's been instrumental in their offense pretty much all year long. He's made a lot of appearances for Jamaica at the under 17, under 20, and under 23 level.
So the possession on the right side belongs to Mensah. He tries to get around St. Louis's walls, but we'll get a restart for St. Louis right at the 18. Looks like a handball called there. So now we approach the 75th minute. Jim Hewer, Bill McDermott with you from Worldwide Technology Soccer Park as Pedro Ribeiro has picked up a yellow card earlier. Now St. Louis with the possession. Right side, running onto it is Wes Sharpie. Sharpie looks to play towards goal inside the 18. Oh, headed by Feely. There's Jackson just a step away because Sean Lewis comes down with the possession for Harrisburg.
Good idea by Tyler Feely. Ball sent in by Sharpie after he chased it, flicked it. Feely did, looking for the run at the opposite flank from Daniel Jackson. A second half change, as is Feely, as is Rudolph.
Here comes Harrisburg with it. Left side to Yamoa. Yamoa sends it towards goal. Back door there with Mensah, but it's too far, and St. Louis comes down with it. Oh, but Jackson lost it. Harrisburg battles with Daniel Jackson on the far side. That's Bond, the goal scorer from earlier for the City Islanders. Now Ryan Howe with it, and he hits it out of bounds.
Howe doing the only thing he could have done there to keep the ball, Jim. Play it off of Jake Bond.
So he wins the throw-in right at the far corner flag and throws it forward. Feely battles for St. Louis, but Harrisburg will pull it back.
As I mentioned when he came on, Feely during training this week was shooting the ball from distance with tremendous power and even better accuracy.
Jake Brent, long ball knocked down by Tony Walls off the header, and we get a whistle and a foul. Mirkovic fouled from behind at midfield. 77th minute, St. Louis. Harrisburg locked at 1. We've got a restart.
Yeah, ball was rolling by Mirkovic. Wants to get on with it. Ball was rolling. He tried to get the ball back into play as quickly as possible.
So they'll try it again. Right from midfield. Ivan.
Mirkovic, as you mentioned, Jim, wins the foul simply because, as always, he's involved in absolutely everything. Anything in and around the center circle, he and Stoikov are involved in it.
Ball played on the ground, but intercepted by Harrisburg, and Olabi'i with it. A quick one touch. Bond, middle of the pitch. Back to Nishanian.
That's good work there by Harrisburg.
They're dangerous. St. Louis turns it over, or creates a turnover. Mirkovic to Feely, corner of the 18. Tyler sends it towards goal, and it's headed away by Nishanian. As dangerous opportunity there for St. Louis, and they'll win a corner.
Dangerous work by St. Louis FC to get forward as quickly as possible. Early balls on the ground at people's feet, diagonal balls behind the defense. Here's Feely with the outside of his right foot, clips it over, looking for Valesky. perhaps number 2 Rudolph, but St. Louis FC wins a corner in the process.
Now St. Louis with that corner kick in the 79th minute, trying to go up.
But the changes that Preki has made for the team, all offensive, Jim, obviously realizing the urgency of this home game and the vital aspect of those 3 points, all offensive changes. Rudolph, Feely in particular.
Ball played towards the box, headed in the air off of Harrisburg. Top of the 18, knocked out by the City Islanders, and St. Louis will run it down. Sharpie lets it go out of bounds, and they'll win a throw-in just in front of the St. Louis bench.
Feely, Rudolph, Jackson, all changes for offensive purposes. 5 games left after tonight's game for both of these clubs, Harrisburg and St. Louis FC.
79th minute, and St. Louis plays with the ball at midfield, trying to get that go-ahead goal of this match. Plays the ball at the 18 to Jackson, but knocked away by Bond. Now St. Louis and Seth Rudolph. He's on the far side this time, and the ball goes out of bounds. St. Louis wants the corner, and they get it right in front of the Looligans on the left side. Dangerous chance here for St. Louis. 80th minute, right in front of the Looligans. We need some more smoke.
Yeah, any time of the game, these corner kicks can be dangerous, Jim, but right now there's a tangible feel of St. Louis FC getting forward offensively.
Ball played into the box, hangs in the air, and Bjerman had it taken away from him by Sean Lewis, the keeper.
Boy, that's excellent goalkeeping by Sean Lewis, and look at this outlet ball from Lewis.
To Paul Wilson, quickly, he approaches the 18, tries to lay it off for Yamoa, but there's Tony Walls. Tony Walls sidesteps 2 defenders, gets it to Daniel Jackson. Now to Ivan Mirkovic, he'll play it back to Tony Walls. And St. Louis, Seth Rudolph back to the keeper, Grinwis.
Mirkovic doing everything now, back defensively at the tip of his own penalty area arc, coming out of his own backfield, calm, composed.
Ball played by Harrisburg at midfield. So we're now in the 81st minute. And they have it there with Yomoa up the left wing to Paul Wilson. Works against the defender. That's Seth Rudolph, and Wilson creates space. Goes middle of the pitch to Mendoza. Back to Wilson. He's got time. Sidesteps Bjerman. Works the right side. There's Bond. Bond will send it towards goal. Backside, Yomoa sends it towards goal, right on, and a diving save by Adam Grinwis.
Nice ball from Bounds. Jake Bond to the opposite post. Yamoa runs onto it, as he has been doing all night. Adam Grinwis, excellent goalkeeping to cut that out at the near post.
Now approaching the 82nd minute of the match. Level at 1. St. Louis with the possession. They'll get it on a throw-in right in front of Preki. Rudolph will leave it there for Wes Sharpie. To Rudolph, and he one-touched it to Sharpie. A giveaway, a throw-in now for the City Islanders.
The last thing you want to do is give it away on a throw-in. That is the absolute last thing you want to do.
Paul Wilson just in, tackles Mirkovic from behind, so now we'll get a whistle and a restart for St. Louis at midfield, right here on the right wing.
So ball coming over into the penalty area. Yamoa at the opposite post. Adam Grinwis at the near post. Good sure hands, dives at that near post to cut it out. Did not let the ball go across his goal mouth.
Potential game saver there for St. Louis.
You cannot let a ball go across your goal mouth from the near post like that. And Grinwis saw that developing.
Bolesky tried to chip it forward to Seth Rudolph, and Harrisburg clears it out. Watch out here. Mensah almost got around Pleva. But St. Louis controls momentarily at midfield, and now Harrisburg on the right side will keep it as they work in the middle of the pitch to Olabi'i. St. Louis double teams, and here comes Ryan Howe. Howe can run. He's got some space. Runs away from one defender at the top of the 18. Ryan Howe stops. Still works away from 2 defenders. Lays the ball right side. There's Jackson, a shot. Oh, and Jake Bond had to slide and block it. St. Louis will get a corner kick.
What a magnificent run coming out of his own backfield from left back by number 23, Ryan Howe. Here's the end result of that play. It already runs 60 yards. Jackson hits it first time. Good ball played to him on the ground by Howe. A ball you can hit first time. Jake Bond with the sliding tackle to defend there.
Left corner, flag corner, ball in the air. And coming off his line again is Lewis. As he took that one off the head of Seth Rudolph.
Right from the middle of play inside of his penalty area. Good sure hands from Sean Lewis.
Now we go to the 84th minute. And the ball played forward by the goalkeeper Lewis. Headed back by St. Louis. Daniel Jackson on the far side. One touches it back to Ryan Howe. Looking for Tyler Feely. He's got it now as he lays it back to Mirkovic. Left wing. Here comes Daniel Jackson. It's just too far. And we'll get a throw in for Harrisburg.
And that's the play from Mirkovic, trying to get it wide, find Jackson. Just a bit too much pace on that. Looking for Jackson to run on to it.
We'll get another substitution here. Sanchez is coming in for Harrisburg. Let's see if who he will come on for. It might be Mensah. Mensah's coming to the sideline. Officials telling him, come on, let's go. Speed it up. Mensah says, I'm tired. I'll get there.
So Manolo Sanchez, number 7, enters for number 25, Ropapa Mensah.
So now we'll see what Sanchez brings to the table for Harrisburg. Late in this match, 85th minute, St. Louis with the possession. Bjerman chips it forward for Sharpie, runs onto it. Oh, and it's cleared away nicely off his foot by Yamoa, and that will be a corner for St. Louis in the right corner flag.
Yeah, last minute, last ditch tackle by Yamoa on the clearance. Correctly trying to marshal his offensive players, get back in this game, get the 3 points, get the 3 points, protect your home venue.
Here comes the corner from Howe. Low line drive headed out by Harrisburg. That was McLaws, but now back St. Louis again. There's Howe, sends it towards goal, just missing a leaping Tyler Feely, and coming back with it is Harrisburg, and St. Louis a restart at midfield.
Nice ball flighted in from Ryan Howe with his right foot, may we add.
Now Jackson works against the defender, takes it towards goal, slide tackle by Brent, but St. Louis will get the corner, and Brent kind of throws his fist in the air, makes a nice sliding tackle, but I think he wants his guys to come on and help him out a little bit.
Nice tackle in the open field by Travis Brent inside of his own penalty area, risking that sliding tackle, but cleanly done by the last center back defender.
Here's the ball again on the corner flag, right side for St. Louis. We're now in the 86th minute. We're level at 1. St. Louis desperately needing the 3 at home to continue their playoff push. Ball headed in the air at the top of the 6. It's down there. With it is Mirkovic. A turn, a shot. Oh, and it's just wide by Mirkovic from 7 yards away. Actually, it was Tony Walls, not Mirkovic.
Good work by St. Louis FC to keep that ball alive in and around the penalty area. It goes to the opposite post, up from center back. Far the corner kick was number 24, Tony Walls. Somehow, some way, receives, turns at the near post, and shoots it just wide. Good work by Tony Walls. First of all, keep that ball alive.
Now the ball played in midfield. Sanchez heads it forward to Mendoza. Oh, Mendoza will take it to the right corner. Works against Ryan Howe. Ball out of bounds. And a corner will be awarded to Harrisburg in the right corner flag as we're now in the 87th minute. Level at 1.
Good work of his own by number 9, Jonathan Mendoza. He wouldn't let that play down. Wins a corner kick for his team late in the 87th minute. Adam Grimwish trying to marshal his defenders. Don't want to give anything away at this stage of the game.
Ball played into the box. A header on, just over the goal by Nishanian. Misses the mark. St. Louis dodges a bullet.
Ooh, did they ever, Jim. An uncontested head ball just about at the penalty kick spot there from Nishanian.
Now St. Louis middle of the pitch with Bjerman. We move to the 88th minute. Ball is too short for Sharpie as it was intended for him. Yamoa knocked down, and we'll get a foul and a restart for Harrisburg just across midfield here on the left side.
The referee might have been entertaining giving a second yellow to Wes Sharpie there. Sharpie commits the foul. commits Harrisburg from getting forward.
City Islanders level with St. Louis, looking for a goal-ahead goal here as Paul Wilson will put it in play. Strikes it towards the 18. It's in the air, headed away, and there's Tony Walls heading it down. St. Louis and Feely battle. Now it's Mirkovic. He can't control it. Here comes Wilson. Middle of the pitch, sidesteps two defenders, gets it back. Wilson drives with space, plays it to the top of the 18. There's Mendoza's shot. Oh, and it goes just wide of the left post. Goal kick for St. Louis.
All this made possible, Jim, by the most recent change for Harrisburg City. Paul Wilson gets the ball on the ground, clips it in. Ribeiro leaves it. Mendoza shoots it just wide. Good work by Harrisburg. Nice combination on the triangle late in this game.
4,000 plus here at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park, waiting anxiously as we now approach the 89th minute.
Danny DePrima will come on for the Harrisburg City Islanders. This is odd for the Islanders, a fourth-year player. They got so many new young players. Played his intercollegiate soccer at North Carolina State, did number 14, Danny Prima.
Ball played at midfield.
One of the few players who played in that 2014 USL final against the Sacramento Republic, DePrima.
Rudolph sends it towards goal, knocked away by Brent. Ball is battled for there. Valesky has it. Christian works against Ribeiro. Mirkovic, a short ball. He's intended for Jackson on the left side. Didn't get there.
Yeah.
And here comes Sanchez.
I haven't tried to clip that out to Jackson. That might have been fatigue there from Mirkovic because he seldom, if ever, mishits a ball like that.
Long ball played right to the St. Louis keeper, Grinwis, and St. Louis will put it in play as now we're in the 90th minute. We'll see how much time is added.
And look who comes back all the way to get that ball. Mirkovic to try to get things started.
It's out of play, a throw in for the City Islanders. They play a long ball forward for Prima, who's just checked in. He can't get to it. But Jake Bond has it out midfield. We're going to get 4 minutes of added time here tonight. Here comes Yamoa. Left side, sends it towards goal, hangs at the 18, headed away by Ryan Howe. Oh, but Jackson gives it away. Dangerous. Here comes a turn and a shot. Oh, and it's just wide in the left corner. That one off the foot of Ribeiro.
Pedro Rivera late in this game, almost getting the insurance that the visitors needed.
Grinwis plays it forward. Valesky chips it to Feely. Plays it to defenders, but coming off his line nicely as Sean Lewis slides and gains the possession.
Good attempt by Feely to isolate Valesky one-on-one with the last defender, but again, the goalkeeper, number 21, Sean Lewis, very sharp, very sure-handed.
Now, Wilson plays it forward. It'll be a goal kick again for St. Louis. As there's 4 minutes of extra time added, we're now in the 92nd minute. St. Louis, Harrisburg, level at 1. Grinwis plays it forward. It's in the air. Feely heads it forward, but right to Harrisburg, and they will be content to get it to Ribeiro, right side to Bond. Chips it forward, tries to get it to Prima. He can't get it, and St. Louis will try and move quickly with Seth Rudolph. Rudolph works against two defenders, uses his pace, gets away from two, a third, still with it. Approaches the 18, lays it off for Feely. Now back to the box, it just misses Valesky. Oh, and coming off this line and taking it away from Christian Valesky is the goalkeeper, Lewis.
Again, magnificent goalkeeping from Sean Lewis. Wonderful run from a deep-lying position by Seth Rudolph through the center circle, off and a run, a maze of his own making. Lays it off for Feely across the goal mouth, looking for Valesky just to run onto that ball. Lewis cuts it out. That's a nice ball on the ground from Feely. You can run onto that very easily and redirect it.
Possession battled for at midfield. Here comes Paul Wilson. Leaves it there for Sanchez. He can't outrun Walls, and Walls just kicks it out of play as we're now in the 93rd minute of this match. Still level at 1.
Good effort there by all the changes. Valesky, Feely and Rudolph. Jackson, later stages out on the left flank.
Sanchez, right side, slide tackle by St. Louis, goes out of bounds, and now Harrisburg will get a dangerous restart from the right corner flag, and Sanchez is going to put it in play. He says, I got this. Sends it towards goal. Low line drive. It's in the box. It's shot a goal. In the 93rd minute, it is Ribeiro.
Pedro Ribeiro, this is exactly what Prucky was talking about in training yesterday. Don't give up goals from free kick scenarios. But late in the game, especially on corner kicks, Harrisburg has continued to attack. They send it over. Here's the second half change, the late second half change. Number 7, Sanchez. Ribeiro gets you on the end of it. And that's certainly probably a winner for the Harrisburg City Islanders at the absolute death of this game.
Sanchez won the corner, delivered the service, and Harrisburg has a 2-1 advantage. Berman sends it towards the 18 for St. Louis. There's Rudolph. A chance, a shot, and it goes wide of the goal. Was it deflected?
Boy, that ball couldn't have bounced better for Seth Rudolph at the near post.
It is a goal kick. It was not deflected.
This is exactly what Prucky had mentioned yesterday also as well, Jim. Forget what has happened in the prior 5 games, which Harrisburg has lost. It's of no consequence. In games like this, late in the year, anyone on the other team can be instrumental in leading to your defeat.
Ball played forward by Harrisburg. They're content maybe now just to run the clock out. Wilson will take it. Works it to the left corner, works it around Sharpie. Still with it. There is Ribeiro, the goal scorer. Looks like he's going to get the game-winning goal if this stands.
Harrisburg has one job now, kill off the game.
And that's what Sanchez is doing. There is the whistle, and we have reached full time here tonight at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. And a late goal in the 93rd minute by Pedro Ribeiro will see the Harrisburg City Islanders go home with a 2-1 victory over St. Louis.
And they now come away with 27 points, Jim. Slim playoff hopes, but nonetheless, they are indeed still alive. St. Louis has finished the game as they started with 31 points. They had a chance to go level with Pittsburgh in 10th place to get 34 points, but it was not to be. Pedro Ribeiro prevented from that happening.
Pedro Ribeiro was the man, Johnny on the spot, if you will. He will be the hero tonight as the Harrisburg City Islanders will head home with a 2-1 advantage here this evening. So St. Louis doesn't get what they wanted tonight. They needed the 3 points at home, and they're going to need a lot of help now moving forward as they're going to be back here next Saturday, but now they need some help because they were in a spot to maybe take care of their own business. But a loss here tonight definitely hurts.
Yeah, very much so, Jim. And now they play against Orlando next Saturday night here at the same venue. And they conclude their homestand in the regular season against Cincinnati on the 23rd. And Cincinnati is troublesome to everyone. They come into tonight's competition. Cincinnati does in 8th place. And Orlando City, we talked about them a little bit earlier in tonight's telecast. They're in 6th place right now. So both of these teams, Cincinnati and Orlando City, will be troublesome for this home side here at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park.
We'll take one more break. We'll come back with some final thoughts. 2-1 Harrisburg defeats St. Louis tonight. More after this.
You can't put a price on safety. That's why every 2017 Toyota RAV4 comes with lane departure alert, pre-collision system, dynamic radar cruise control. You can't put a price on safety. That's why every 2017 Toyota RAV4 comes with lane departure alert, pre-collision system, dynamic radar cruise control, and automatic high beams, all standard at no extra charge. To get similar safety features in a Honda CR-V, you'd have to pay $2,330 more. The 2017 Toyota RAV4. When it comes to safety, Toyota sets the standard. Tested, trusted, Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
You guys are ready! You guys are ready!
Ticket, please.
Of course, I got it right here.
There's nothing there.
It's loading. It takes a little bit. Just give me like a minute, guys.
Here's my ticket. It's starting. Mine works.
Bob realized his network coverage was a no-show. That's why he switched to metroPCS, because he figured out he gets a network that's more reliable than ever, covering 99% of people in the U.S. Switch now and get 2 lines for only $50 period, plus 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones. metroPCS. Wireless figured out.
The best things in life are
There's really only one place where the carpets are always red and the stars are everywhere you look. There's no place like Hollywood. Hollywood Casino St. Louis.
Back at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park, Jim Hewer, Bill McDermott with you. The home folks are not going to go home happy tonight here as St. Louis loses to the Harrisburg City Islanders by a score of 2-1. A lot of unhappy Luligans on the far side of the pitch this evening as they came out 4,000 strong tonight in St. Louis to watch their team lose one late to the Harrisburg City Islanders, as the City Islanders, they're going to go home real happy tonight.
Very much so, Jim. They come in a 5-game slide. They haven't won in the last 5. We talked about this continually during our telecast. Preki said that's of no consequence, and it certainly wasn't tonight, as in the 93rd minute. The 93rd minute, Harrisburg continued to do the attacking because they're still, although slim, still involved. They're trying to get the 3 points on the road. They do that in the 93rd minute. It's full time, and Harrisburg emerges with the 3 points. Here's Ryan Howe on the corner kick to Matt Spearman. That was in the first half. Here's the goal by Harrisburg. Wonderful work. Freddie Amoa on that flank. Curls it over to the opposite post on the ground. Running onto it is Jake Bond. That happened in the 32nd minute. Good work by Bond. Even better yet by Harrisburg on the build-up. Early 1-2 touch passes on the ground at people's feet. It's around behind the defense, gets in behind, forcing defenders to chase with their back to play. Bond runs onto it, and in the 32nd minute, that's a goal for the visitors. Matt Spearman continuing to make things happen at the opposite post. The ball played to him. Here's Valesky playing it for Stoikov. Deflects. Sean Lewis gets on the end of it, then presents himself again to prevent one at the far post against Walls across the goal mouth again. Batochev is involved. Here's Mirkovic just over the top of the goal post. Good work by him. Bierman flights it over to the opposite post looking for Sebastian Dalgard. He almost got on the end of that. Now, Harrisburg continuing to do the attacking. It's going to bounce outside the penalty area, running onto it first time, just wide. Howe again late in the game, across the goal mouth on the free kick, looking for Valesky. Sean Lewis cuts it out, doing the attacking, but occasionally getting out of the backfield is Wes Sharpie. He gets the yellow card for that tackle on Yamoa, who's active all night long. Here's Howe again on a free kick, and just wide on the ball on the rebound, bouncing at his feet. Valesky, Howe curls it in. Sean Lewis again with the good, sure hands, as he did all night long. Mirkovic, as always, battling anywhere in and around that center circle. Foul whistle against Conrad Pleva. He gets a yellow. Clearing out of their own penalty area, Jake Bond, he runs on the end of it. A deflected ball at the near post. Almost another goal for Harrisburg. This ball, Seth Rudolph, cleared off the goal line by Mendoza. Beautiful work. The last defender, Mendoza, wearing number 9. Here's Feely across the goal mouth again, looking for a Valesky. Bond clears it. On the corner kick, Bond sails it over yet again. Over his head, the ball flooded by Howe on the turn, Tony Walls. Inside that near post. They continue to knock at the door to St. Louis FC. Now here's Wilson, a second half change for Harrisburg, and number 9, Mendoza almost gets on the end of that. That goes just wide. Here's the game winner. Sanchez, a second half change, curls it into the penalty area. Number 30, Pedro Rivera runs onto it. He gets a goal in the 93rd minute, and that for the home side is the unkindest cut of all. Harrisburg comes away with a 2-1 win.
So that's the final tonight. Final thoughts here from my side. It was a hard-fought contest. Harrisburg does the unlikely. They come in here and they steal 3 points. Your thoughts, Bill?
And that's what's going to happen in this league. You absolutely, positively never know. Irrespective of the team's position in the table, Harrisburg, case in point, comes in 14th place, 24 points. St. Louis has 31 points in 11th place. St. Louis on the first of a 3-game homestand. Very vital to get points, Jim. Now it doesn't get any easier as they play Orlando next weekend, then the following weekend against Cincinnati, then 3 games on the road.
That's Bill McDermott. I'm Jim Hewer. We thank you for joining us here tonight. St. Louis loses on the home pitch by a score of 2-1. Harrisburg City Islanders going home happy. We say good night from Worldwide Technology Soccer Park.
copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.